All right, that's process control. The fourth discipline is scorekeeping. Measurement drives the process. It's really the anchor of reality. It's where we go out the physical universe and we get feedback on our actions. Are the actions we're taking producing the outcomes we thought they would? Now, here's the interesting thing. Most people shy away from measurement. Have you noticed that? For all kinds of reasons. Check this out. I think you'll like this.
We just moved. I called UPS to ask them to help out with some boxes. And, now, they're a good service, but you have to have information ready about your boxes before you even call them. I had no idea. I called them up. Yeah, I have 10 boxes if you come pick them up. We need to know the weight and the girth. Okay, goodbye. So I called back, we need the weight and the girth. Okay, I don't know what the weight is, and I don't know what girth means. So now what's the procedure? So this guy talks to me like I'm 4 years old. Well, do you have a bathroom scale? Yeah, but if I put the box on a scale, it's going to cover up the numbers. What do I take them off really quick? 0, I'm not fast enough. What's he talking about? So this is true. I figured I would call back and just make up some numbers, you know. Let them come out and pick them up. If it's wrong, I'll pay the difference. Just dispatch the truck. Please. So I called back. Yeah, I have 10 boxes and... No, I'm another guy. Yeah, and they all weigh exactly 22 pounds, and they all have a girth of 3. 3 what? 3 girth units. Come pick them up, please. I'm begging you. They're boxes and they're brown and they have tape all on them. And they probably fit on a dolly.
That's Brian Regan. Hey, the good news? You don't need to know what a girth unit is. Lead and lag indicators. You familiar with those terms? Okay. So lag indicators are the end results, right? They're sales, they're commissions, things like that. And we call them lag because there's a time lag between when we take action and when they come online. Lead indicators are measures that there's a strong correlation between that measure and an end result. Right? So what might be some lead indicators for this group? Phone calls, pop buys. Yeah, right? Now there's probably a handful of those things you need to track. Right? And if you're not, you're handicapping yourself. Because all measurement is it's information to help you make better decisions. And yet so many people have this head trash about what measurement is and what it isn't. I was in a group about this size one time, and some guy says, you know, Brian, I know I suck. Why do I need to measure? And when I got up off the floor, I said, well, maybe you'd like to suck a little less. I've had another guy say, you know, I'm doing great. Why measure? How would you answer that one? How do you know you couldn't do better with less time, less effort? Right? We got all this head trash about what measurement is or isn't. It's just feedback. That's all it is. Some of it's useful right now in the moment, some of it as we look at trends over time, but you have to have the courage to measure it. Now, there's one lead indicator that's the most powerful lead indicator you have that you're probably not even aware of. And that is a measure of your execution. The most powerful lead indicator you have is a measure of your execution. Here's why. Let me ask you this. What do we have greater control over, our actions or our outcomes? Our actions. We don't control the outcomes. We desire the outcomes. We influence the outcomes. What we control are the actions. So we're going to track our outcomes with lead and lags. We're going to score our execution. We're going to measure, did I do what I said I needed to do in order to create the outcomes I said I wanted to create? And with the 12-week year, that's simply that weekly plan becomes a scorecard. You go in and you check off what got done. And it calculates a score if you're on the online tool. If you're doing it by hand, you just calculate the score. You'll know whether you're operating at somewhere between 0 and 100%. You'll know as the CEO of your life whether you're in the 90 percentile or 30 percentile. Here's the key, you'll know why, which is critical. Because if there's a breakdown, in other words, you're not getting the results, it's in one of two areas. It's either in the plan content, right, you don't have the right tactics, or it's in the execution, you're not doing it. 90% of the time, the breakdown's the execution. But what do you think most people do when they're not hitting their goal? Change the plan. Yeah. Why do you think that is? It's easier. It's easier. In fairness, people, they don't have a way to pinpoint it. With the 12-week year, you'll be able to pinpoint the breakdown. And here's the cool thing. You don't have to be perfect. With thousands of people on the system, we found that if you're 80, 85% or higher week in and week out, in most cases, you'll accomplish the 12-week goals. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being more consistent. And I would argue that this is probably the greatest predictor of your future. Think about that. If you want to know what your future holds, look to your daily actions. If you want to know what your health is going to be like 3 years from today, look to your daily actions. You want to know what your relationships are going to be like 3 years from today, look to your daily actions. You want to know what your income and your business is going to be like 3 years from today, look to your daily actions. Because that's what we control. That's what's creating the future to come for you. So I don't know what your thinking is around measurement. Maybe you shy away from it. Forget that. Think of it as feedback. Have the courage to measure. Track your lead and lags. Score your execution.